All right, guys. The Golden Globe Awards just wrapped up here about 2, 3 minutes ago, and yeah, I'll try to keep this as short as I can. I mean, generally speaking, the show was all right. I mean, it was as all award shows. They always have their lull spots. They have their surprises. They have things here and there, but yeah, since we do have kind of an early morning here tomorrow and a late night tonight, I really don't want to try to overextend this too badly here. I guess the top headline here is that Banshees of Inisherin walks away with the most awards here tonight on the film side with 3 wins. They won for screenplay, actor in a motion picture comedy musical, and then also won for best motion picture comedy or musical. So yeah, so they succeeded a little bit more than I thought they would. I had just the 2 wins for Banshees, but they walk away with 3. Fabelmans, in the meantime, walks away with director and with film drama. So pretty good showing for Fabelmans there. I thought it might pick up score too for John Williams, but nope, they go Babylon there with Justin Hurwitz, who actually I didn't even recognize this. He is undefeated at the Globes. He is 4 for 4. He is the Jennifer Lawrence of the Globes nowadays, because he won for the score for La La Land, he won for the song for La La Land, and he also won for score for First Man. So, yeah, I guess if Justin Hurwitz is in the category, go ahead and vote and say he's going to win, and he probably will. Yeah, I didn't recognize that. Let's see. Otherwise, we can go ahead and just go run through the categories here. Otherwise, Austin Butler has a upset over Brendan Fraser there in lead actor drama. There was one thing I was not aware of, and that was don't forget Brendan Fraser was part of the whole Me Too movement because he was a part of it, I should say. Yeah, I don't know how he feels about the whole organization or whatever, but or the whole movement or whatever. But he was in fact by one of the former Hollywood Foreign Press presidents or organizers or something. He was actually supposedly there was some unwanted groping that happened. So he was very public with his saying that he did not want to be a part of the Globes. He wasn't going to show up. So I know some people were more cynically saying because of that, Austin Butler would win. I don't know if that's entirely the case. I haven't quite gotten to Elvis yet. But I don't know. The word on the street, everybody I've heard that's seen the movie, they're like, oh no, Austin Butler is fantastic in the movie. So I don't know if that's more a pro Austin Butler thing. Obviously, Elvis also had the film nomination for Best Film Drama, so that's usually that's a better sign that you're going to win that category. It's harder to do that when your film is only up for one award. Though I thought with the Darkest Hour example, I thought that was how that was going to work, but not this time. Not this time. By the way, I did see The Whale on Sunday night. By the way, I don't think I'll have time to do a full review or anything of it, but it was a little uneven. The writing was really good. I think pretty much from what I've heard, it's almost a direct adaptation of the play that it's based on. Fraser, as expected, when he steps into the role, he gives it everything he has. And he's acting through the makeup really hard and everything. The makeup is really fantastic. Like, you really don't believe for a moment that he's not Charlie, the 500, 600-pound sheltered guy that he is, that's gone through a lot of tragedy in his life, some of which is self-inflicted, some of it is not. But Hong Chow is also excellent in the movie. Excellent. Her character, there's a couple parts where Charlie's not on screen, or it, more or less it kind of feels like he's not on stage, because it is, kind of like some of those films we saw a few years ago, like The Father and Malcolm and Marie, even though that's not a play adaptation, but Ma Rainey's as well. It's like, and what was the other one? One Night in Miami. It did kind of feel like, okay, yeah, you can totally see where the seams are as far as the adaptation from play to film. But there's a couple scenes that she's in that he is not, where you're like, oh yeah, you're like, she can definitely hold her own in the film and stuff. And yeah, part of me is really tempted to go with her tomorrow and put her in over Carey Mulligan at SAG, but it's too late, and there's a chance she might not make it. It might just be Brendan Fraser tomorrow, or, I don't know. I hate to say it, but I think there is a very, 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 very slim chance that the film just was kind of late in the game. It might miss at SAG overall tomorrow. It'd be weird, but it would definitely, I think, size up that race and tell you, oh yeah, Austin Butler's more of a sure thing, and he's at that point he might just walk away with the rest of the season. We don't know, but we'll get there when we get there. Or it'd be him versus Colin Farrell, I think. And by the way, as long as Hugh Jackman doesn't get into Best Actor or Tom Cruise, as long as it's one of quite a few others, we're going to have all first-time nominees in that category. That's going to be the first time that's happened in a while, by the way. Maybe, I mean, obviously you can go back to the first Academy Awards because there's somebody to compare to, but I'm sure there has been a time or two where that has happened, where you have only first-time nominees in that category. I'd have to do a really long look back to tell you when that last time that was, but that or somebody else can do the research for me. Yeah, either or. Anyway, so that unfortunately does stop Brendan Fraser short of the televised awards kind of perfect streak that I thought might happen, the way that we saw it with Will Smith last year, the way we saw it in the 2017 year, the events or the awards themselves being handed out in 2018 for the films of 2017, where it's like all four of the actors just walked right through and just won everything at all the televised awards. Cate Blanchett, otherwise, is our winner here in Drama Actress. Yep, that was not a surprise at all. Colin Farrell, we mentioned, did win for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. Pretty expected, yeah. And then you had Michelle Yeoh win for Everything Everywhere All at Once on the actress side for Comedy Musical. Not a surprise. Then you have in the supporting categories, you had Ki Kwan for win for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that was just, I gotta say, this is probably the first award speech that I can think of on a film level where I did get emotional watching the speech. And I don't know why. It was the first one of the night, but it was like, damn, it was kind of emotional for me. Maybe just because, it's such a good story to see him go from, hey, he had his, 15 minutes of fame in the 80s as a child actor, and then he just dropped off the map. And now he's back, and possibly he's going to hopefully get some great roles in the future. In supporting actress, I would say a surprise. I know a couple other people were calling it, but Angela Bassett won for Black Panther. My vote here was Jamie Lee Curtis. Early on, I thought maybe Carrie Condon or maybe Carrie Mulligan, Battle of the Carries or something. But I don't know. I think this was a pretty split field here. The early perception was it was going to be Jessie Buckley, but of course she didn't make it in. So I think if she had been nominated, we'll see. Obviously we don't know the full trajectory yet of her nomination and stuff. And she is not on the list for BAFTA, if I remember right. Jeez, it's been a hot minute here. She is not on the list, right? Or am I dreaming that? Or was she the only one to get on? It's kind of late, so my memory is not probably the best here. I don't think she's on the list, is she? I've almost got it here. No, she is not on the list, so yeah. So her missing here, I think, was kind of the start of that, and now I think she's in tomorrow at SAG, but if she doesn't make it for SAG, then oof. That film really needs some more general support, broadly speaking, because it did very poorly here with the nominations at the Globes, bounced back pretty good at Critics' Choice, got a bunch of stuff. Of course, having more nominees in each category possibly could be a reason why, but if it gets almost nothing at SAG tomorrow, oh boy, that's a really bad trajectory. And without spoiling too much, I took a gamble here on the directing category this year, and I pulled out, I can't remember her name right now. Sarah Polley, right? Why am I was going to say Sarah Paulson, but I'm like, no, that's the actress, you dumbass. Sarah Polley. Yes, I pulled her out for director in favor of Martin McDonagh. Something tells me the director's branch, after 3 Billboards, him not getting in, something tells me this is a makeup. They're going to get him in this time. If I also read correctly, DGA is tomorrow. They're going to announce their nominees tomorrow. If I read that right, or are they coming up? Well, I saw they did the. Maybe this is why I'm seeing it. They did the TV and documentary and some of those today. So that might be why because I saw a little news flash of it. But do they give the date here when they're doing the? I don't know if they give the date or not. Because then, if that's true, then PGA is also tomorrow. If I'm reading that right. Hold on a minute. I'm thinking. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think this tells it here. Okay, so SAG and Directors Guild are tomorrow, and then Producers Guild is Thursday. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Okay. Oh, okay. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on because this is what the hell is it? Awards Daily. Theirs popped up for some reason. I was trying to pull up like the calendar here. But they put, I guess all their editors or contributors all are putting up who they think is in, who they think is not in for like DGA, SAG, PGA, stuff like that. And so I kept saying, I'm like, wait, why are they saying there's going to be 7 nominees or 8 nominees for DGA? That doesn't make sense. I guess while we're here, I think after we do the wrap up here, I can go ahead and go into at least DGA, and then we'll see. PGA, I think I'll have time to go into tomorrow and do some full predictions there. Anyhow, let's keep going with the winners here. Screenplay we talked about, that went to Martin McDonagh for Banshees. Director went to Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Justin Hurwitz, who mentioned, picked up the win for score for Babylon. Natu Natu was our winner for Best Original Song. Argentina 1985 arguably had the biggest upset of the night in international film. And animated feature, one of the easiest calls of the night, that was Pinocchio from Guillermo del Toro. So I missed score, I missed international film, I missed song, I missed supporting actress, and then lead actor drama, and comedy musical film. So 8 out of 14, that's about average for me. There's always, you feel like there's some safe picks and they come through, and then there's other ones where you're like, oh, that should be this one, and you're going against the grain, and it's like, oh, well, if you'd just gone with the grain, you would have been fine. For whatever reason, I think several of the polls had Justin Hurwitz winning for Babylon, which didn't make any sense to me. And yeah, like I said, some people went with Angela Bassett, who I seriously was not considering at all for the win here. I was like, oh, she got in. Okay, that's the win there. Nope, she kept going. And that, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, Aaron Taylor Johnson winning for Nocturnal Animals, in the way that, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes it's those contenders that they get in, and you're like, oh, well, they're lucky to get in. Boom, they come through. Some people have said the same thing on the TV side for Emmys and stuff with Euphoria, with not only the series but with Zendaya, for example, in lead actress, and she's gone on to win in those awards and stuff. Okay, so I guess really quickly what this means going forward here. First of all, I got to say this as somebody who is a little, has kind of jumped on the bandwagon here recently with Everything Everywhere All at Once winning a lot of stuff this year. Look, it was nominated, it didn't win. Coda was nominated last year, it didn't win in the drama category. So don't, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't win tonight. And you can look through the history of the Globes. Like we said, Power of the Dog and West Side Story both lost last year. Borat wasn't even nominated, but yeah, then again, you get into those for sure. Both 1917 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood didn't win in 2019. Obviously, Parasite, couldn't have been nominated that year because of the rules and stuff. Since then, they've changed them, but that happens. The Shape of Water did not win in 2017. Let's see here. Spotlight did not win in 2015. So, and if, Birdman did not win in 2014. So, the Globes do have a history of missing some of these Best Picture winners. So it's not, this isn't a cry havoc, let's slip the Dogs of War, woe is us moment if you're on the Everything Everywhere All at Once bandwagon, or just train, generally speaking. Because I know there's some people that have been predicting it from the beginning, and good on to them. I personally, I think they're going to be right at the end of the day, but we'll see. But still, the Fabelmans, if it had lost to something like Top Gun, or if it had lost to Elvis, that would have been a really bad sign for them. The fact that they're, holding down with the drama win and the director win means that they're not totally out of it. And it does feel like, especially after the poor performance there at BAFTA with the short lists, or long lists, I guess I should say long lists, in a lot of categories, including director, including supporting actor, and a lot of those tech categories, very surprisingly, including like score and cinematography, just weird places for that movie to miss. Editing being another one. The fact that it did well today here, I think, with those two wins, it doesn't mean it's tanking at the Oscars. That's not going to happen. Now, I think it's going to stick around tomorrow and still be a nominee at SAG. I think it's in a DGA and PGA easily, so that's not going to be a problem. So I think it's going to hit that triple, trifecta, that triple crown, at least nominations-wise, for getting those. For Banshees, I got to say, if you're in the Banshees camp, I think you're happy here today. I don't know if there's a clear path to victory for this film at the Oscars, except from a very, very, very avid, wild, fanatic split in the voting between something like Fabelmans and Everything Everywhere All at Once. If it's a very, very split ballot down the road and stuff, okay, maybe that's a way that Banshees can win. If it's just the movie that, there's not enough passionate dislike and stuff, then maybe we'll see. But yeah, personally, I don't know, because Banshees, it's not like a showy film directorially. There's not really, it's a more quiet film. Coda was a kind of a quieter film in that way. It wasn't a super directorial, big slam dunk thing, to that point. But Parasite definitely had some tilt to it in that way. It definitely had some prestige factor to it. Nomadland felt like it had that. Some of that show-offness, if you will, which I think the Oscar voters go for. Banshees doesn't really feel like that. Fabelmans feels like that, and that's having not quite seen it. Everything Everywhere All at Once doesn't have as much of it, but some people I guess could say it does have it, but personally I don't think it has that kind of snobbish kind of factor to it at all. Anywho, but otherwise, let's see if Austin Butler can continue to win anything this year, or we'll see if Brendan Fraser can pick it up with, I think Critics' Choice would be the next televised award show to watch. Cate Blanchett, I think, she's starting a path to victory here, likely, at least. We'll see. Again, we'll see if anybody else can upset her. Let's see here. And probably, again, if they start splitting stuff, I can see somebody like maybe Colin Farrell winning BAFTA, if not Austin Butler. Fraser, I think, might struggle a little more at BAFTA. Then again, we all said Will Smith was really going to struggle at BAFTA last year, and he ended up winning, so we'll see. Let's see, Kiyu Kwan, yes, hopefully that train takes off and just goes all the way. I don't know about Angela Bassett, though. In that category, I think it's really going to depend who the final nominees are. It's really going to depend on who the final nominees are. Personally, I think Carrie Condon, as good as she is in the movie, I don't know if it's a big enough performance to win here. It would definitely, I mean, not screen time wise, but it would feel more like a Beatrice Straight, or one of those winners whose screen time is small, but they make a big impact kind of thing. I don't know if Carrie Condon quite fits into that either. Jamie Lee Curtis could win as kind of like a Lifetime Achievement Oscar win in a competitive category. You get those once in a while. Even some people argue if Carey Mulligan gets in, she might finally get on a train because it's a makeup for her not winning for Promising Young Woman. Could be. But and then you get Jessie Buckley in there, and it's like, okay, well, she could win just based off the performance and stuff, and if enough people see it and everything. So it feels pretty wide open, especially with Angela's win here today. It's like, ooh, this does feel wide open for the race here. And this, yeah, the screenplay race, directing race, we can talk about those really quick. I still say the Danielses are still ahead slightly in my Oscar predictions list right now for directing. That was just, again, on these kind of off the bravado of it, possibly getting on the train of being like screenplay win and acting win, getting to 4 wins that way probably. But I mean, Spielberg obviously has to be in second place now, and I do have him in second place, by the way. In the screenplay side, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely still in play. Again, when we look at this category, you do see more recently, you do see a lot of films that do not go on to win the Oscar. Belfast was one that won, so that's an exception. Otherwise, Trial of the Chicago 7 did not win. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did not win. 3 Billboards did not win. La La Land did not win. Steve Jobs wasn't even nominated. You got a couple good winners in there, including Green Book, Birdman, Django, Her, Midnight in Paris, Social Network. Yeah, that's true. You do have Up in the Air that won over a few other ones there, including Hurt Locker, which I believe was our Oscar winner, if memory serves. But yeah. So yeah, that's, again, that is it doesn't mean it's game over for Fabelmans or Everything Everywhere All at Once, or even Women Talking to that degree. Score, especially with Williams missing BAFTA long lists and stuff, I think he's still in there, and I still think when, at the end of the day, when the voters are, and I think a lot of voters are aware it is John Williams and stuff, I still think he's ahead. I really don't see Justin Hurwitz winning for this, especially if Babylon is as divisive as we think it is amongst voters. I mean, I think definitely in the tech categories, those voters are going to be very passionate about it. And enough of them are passionate about it that they will put it in for Best Picture, and it'll get in on that like 8th, 9th, 10th slot. Like I think it makes it, kind of squeaks by in the picture race. But I don't know, when it gets to the wide voting though, at the end of the day, for the Oscars, I just think it's going to be divisive enough to where there isn't going to be a single category for it to just pick and just win. I just don't see that happening right now. I could be dead wrong, and that could change in the next couple months, but we'll see. On the original song side, yep, I think Naatu Naatu it's in front right now at Gold Derby, but I think you got to really consider it now. I think it's really got to be one to take seriously there. For international film, again, this is a category again that has been known not to pick the winner. Drive My Car was an exception last year. Otherwise, you had Minari, which wasn't eligible or to win that at the Oscars. Instead, another round won. Parasite won, and that repeated. Roma won, that repeated. In the Fade did not repeat. That went to, I believe, A Fantastic Woman, if my memory serves. Yes, it did. Okay, that one won. Let's see. Elle lost to The Salesman in 2016. Son of Saul repeated. Leviathan won over Ida in 2014. And The Great Beauty repeated. Moore repeated. A Separation, if I recall. That one repeated. So, yeah, there's a few in there. But, again, not the end of the world if you're All Quiet on the Western Front or one of the other ones, for sure. Let's see here. Animated, Pinocchio, I think, also, I think they can continue and not have a thing to worry about there. Okay. I guess really quick I can recap the show in general. Jared Carmichael was our host. I personally had never heard of him, but I guess he's a stand-up comedian, and as a host, he did a good job. He opened up with the joke that everybody was waiting for, which is, I'm only here because I'm black, which was a really good joke and a good way to kind of start breaking that, that first ice cube of everything with the Globes' behavior and their diversity and stuff in the past few years and everything. Surprisingly, there was not as much hatred on them, I think, as I was expecting. Maybe I was just expecting, half the winners to go up there and sarcastically make a joke about it. But no, once they were up there and accepting the award, all of them were very classy. And I mean, there was not a bad speech tonight. Maybe I'm just saying that just laconically, but yeah, it's like nobody's speech tonight was like bad or standoffish or anything like that. They were all very grateful, very welcoming, and very very accepting, and very grateful, I think. Which, yeah, I mean, you can't really be too mad at that. I mean, again, remember, these are, especially when we get to the actor side of it, these are people who make, they do this for a living. They act for a living. So if deep down they're like, oh, why the fuck am I here? These people are all going to burn in hell for what they've not, for being not very inclusive in the last years. If that's how they're feeling, okay, they're hiding it very well and stuff. And maybe some of the other winners tonight are doing that as well. But you never know. But and yeah, there was no like back speech, backstage stuff or anything for acceptance speeches and stuff. So I think largely a lot of that was just to defend themselves, like because they can be a little more open there than they can on stage. So yeah, maybe my expectations were just a little out of whack there, because I was like maybe not disappointed, but a little like, oh, okay, so they're just gonna go classy. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But yeah. Now, personally, does this show tonight like guarantee that it's going to keep being at NBC year after year after year? Everything is all back to normal now. I don't know. I mean, that's a call for NBC to make. That's a call for all them to make based off the ratings. I'm sure that's going to be a part of it. Based off of any reviews tomorrow about people that watch the show and just like it was no good or whatever. I don't know. I think for a show like this and all the categories and all the long speeches and they didn't have an in memoriam, which if I recall last time the Globes did not either. Maybe that was a different award show that skipped it last time and I just forgot. But yeah, not including that, as much as I do love to see it every year and have that one final shot for not only the big stars who we lost in 2022, but the smaller ones, the ones whose names go up there and we see their picture, and then sometimes it's like especially if they're a crew member and not necessarily like a big actor, then we see, oh, this was what part of their they worked on this film, which is like, oh, they worked on Close Encounters, they worked on The Graduate, they worked on Gandhi, they worked on a big film or something, stuff like that. That might, that it's always cool to see those people recognized. But the Globes didn't do it this year, as far as I know. They didn't do it the last time they were televised in 2021, I should say. But yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, the host did a good job. All the speeches were great. Eddie Murphy's was pretty good with the bringing back the Will Smith line from the Oscars last year. That was a good way for him to not be too serious in his moment, because of course we all know deep down at heart that he's a very funny guy, and I think he wanted to keep that going, which is great. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, there were a couple no-shows here and there, like Cate Blanchett was not there. On the TV side, there were a couple people that were not there. Let's see. Yeah, I think Cate Blanchett was the only film winner not to be there, but yeah, the other ones were all on the TV side, but Regina Hall had to kind of walk back a little bit of a joke that she was telling, and the way she did that was perfect. Because I guess it was Kevin Costner, won on the TV side for Yellowstone, and she's like, oh, well, too bad he can't be here because he's stuck at home, and it's like, oh, yeah, he's stuck at home because of the huge, mudslides, landslides, all the stuff that's going on in California right now. So yeah, otherwise it was. I felt like it might have been noticed or whatever, announced in advance, but I just forgot. And that was the whole the Ukraine president coming on. That was really nice to see. I don't know what else. I don't. For the most part, felt like they got the presenters. I mean, they got people of note. They were all people I knew for the most part. I mean, there were a couple here and there were like, oh, you must be on a TV show I haven't seen or something, but. Yeah, and I really, I used to watch some limited series here and there, but really the only ones I've seen TV-wise so far, like recently, I've talked about a little bit, The Offer, god-awful fucking show. Do not see it. One of the worst things I've ever seen compiled in my life. That's trying to be a big, prestigious, making of The Godfather and everything. Oh, just stunk to high heaven. Almost every part of it was bad. Yeah, just terrible, terrible conception show. I did finish Andor recently, and it was pretty good. For Star Wars shows, this is definitely the most solid since Mandalorian's first two seasons. I would say. Book of Boba Fett, I had my criticisms with, but was still generally speaking good show. Obi-Wan, especially in retrospect, the longer I think about it, the more I'm like, ooh, stuff sticks out to me where I'm like, ooh, that was a problem. That was not great. That was not great. That was silly. But there's other moments to that show that I like too. I'm trying to think what else. What else have I even frickin' seen? I think was Moon Knight the last Marvel show I saw. I think, and Moon Knight I fucking loved. I loved Moon Knight. Every episode I was like, this feels like Indiana Jones, or it feels like, it just kept going and going, and I loved it. I loved it. I hope they do a second season of that show. It was really, really good. And Oscar Isaac was phenomenal in that show. It's kind of too bad he hasn't really taken off, because again, not having seen anything else with it for his competition and stuff, man, he playing. I guess I can give a little bit away, but he's not really, strictly speaking, one role. And I don't, obviously, there's the whole duality of a hero and the person behind the hero and all that stuff. The Peter Parker versus Spider-Man and all that stuff. I get that, but it's like, yeah, there's more to it than that. If you couldn't, without giving way too much away about that one. But yeah, I loved Moon Knight. For whatever reason, a lot of people just didn't like it. And they're losers. That's all I can say. If I can quote Trump, we have losers. I don't know. That jumped in my mind. But let me see here. I think that was the last Marvel show I watched. Otherwise, I was watching them pretty faithfully. Like I saw Loki as that was coming out, and Falcon Winter Soldier, stuff like that. But I'm trying to find. Hold on, I think I can get there. This should have it. There we go. Oh, I did see Hawkeye. So yeah, I've just Miss Marvel and She-Hulk I have not seen, but yeah, like I said, I've got to catch up with all the Oscar movies. So let's the rest of them I haven't seen, like Avatar I haven't gotten to yet, Fabelmans, Elvis, and I think those are the major ones. I don't know if I'll have time to get to. Obviously, I'm not going to have enough time to get to everything. But like Empire of Light, I'm probably not going to be able to see. Triangle of Sadness, I'm probably not going to be able to see. Blonde, I'm not going to be able to see. Woman King, I haven't gotten to, and I'm probably not going to get to. White Noise, I haven't gotten to, and probably won't get to. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Any of those smaller. Good Nurse, I haven't gotten to, and probably won't get to. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I don't really have way too much else to add about the Globe show itself, though. I mean, it's, they always put on a pretty entertaining show. Some of the speeches are funny. The Jennifer Coolidge one went on a little long, but it was funny. Let's see who else. Paul Walter Hauser not knowing where to go, like he doesn't know where the stage is. That was kind of a funny moment. Who else? Like I said, yeah, most everyone's like Ke Huy Quan's I mentioned off top was kind of an emotional one to watch. Otherwise, everybody was just really grateful. Michelle Yeoh's was really good. Let's see, anybody else's? Yeah, seeing Spielberg up there for a film that is so personal to him and stuff. It just again, not having really, I've only seen Banshees and Everything Everywhere All at Once on that list. It's kind of like it felt right to see him up there to win at least that award. If they'd gone with something else in drama film, then okay, maybe that would have been fine. But to see Spielberg up there for director was really nice. Geez, yeah, I feel like that's probably about it from what I remember at least. But yep, we'll move on to the next thing here. Yeah, so DGA is tomorrow. Real quick. Let me note here, it is worth noting that Top Gun was in at Ace Eddie, Ace Eddie, Jesus Christ, it's going to be in at Ace Eddie, I can almost guarantee you. Sorry, it's because it's the abbreviation is similar, ASC, which is the American Society of Cinematographers. Top Gun is in, which I thought they would miss, for whatever reason I thought they would miss, but Elvis is in there. Elvis is in there, and guess what's, and as is the Batman, Empire of Light, and Bardo. So you're missing Fabelmans, you're missing Everything Everywhere All at Once, you're missing Tar, you're missing, there's a whole, or sorry, did I say Tar was in there? Tar is not in there. Yeah, it's missing Tar. That's right. My first, what I said first was correct. It is missing Tar. There were a couple other ones that I have in at the Oscars. Babylon was not in there. Avatar was not in there. All Quiet on the Western Front might not have qualified, but we'll see. Again, that's American Society of Cinematographers, so that is probably part of the reason it's not in there. Let's see. So, again, not the end of the world, because remember, Roma didn't even get nominated by the American Society of Cinematographers Guild, but it still won the Oscar. So, just once in a while they do that. So, that being said, Top Gun has still done very well with all the guilds so far. So I know some people are looking at Top Gun to get in for DGA for Joseph Kosinski. I'm not going to make that call. I just can't. To my bones, I just cannot see that happening. I think the Danielses are in. Spielberg's in. I think Martin McDonagh's in. And then it gets, I don't know. Even then, Martin, even right now, I'm a little shaky on. Okay, boy, I can see Todd Field missing. As arty-farty as Tar is at times, as far as the directorial job and stuff, putting the end credits in the beginning of the film and stuff, all that. Part of me wants to say Todd Field's still going to get in. Oh boy, I don't know though. That might be a tougher call. I'll tell you what one is probably in is Baz Luhrmann. I think Baz Luhrmann, actually. Elvis has done, again, it hasn't missed a guild yet, from the ones I've seen at least. It's in at the Cinematographers Guild, over Fabelmans, over Babylon, over Avatar. So I would absolutely not sleep on Elvis getting in there. Is it going to get in at SAG for ensemble? That's a tougher road. That is a tougher road. I don't think Elvis makes the list for ensemble. I think it gets at least the nomination for Austin Butler. And if it walks away with anything else, again, like a Bohemian Rhapsody did a few years ago, they would count themselves very lucky, and they would say, wow. Sorry, I guess my allergies are coming on now late at night. But yeah, I think they'd be very, very, very stoked with a nomination like that. Boy, I guess my final 5 for DGA. Boy, this is tough. The Danielses are in. Spielberg's in. Baz Luhrmann I'm putting in there. See, just a second ago I said Martin McDonagh. Oh, he's in. Nah, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go Todd Field as 4. And boy, I'm just going to go Martin McDonagh as my 5th. And then, because here's the thing. DGA and the Oscars for the directing category have not lined up perfectly since 2008. Or was it sooner than that? Oh boy. Oh boy. We keep saying this. It's like over and over and over again. I keep trying to, line them up, but it never works out. It's never the year that it lines up. Hold on 1 second here. I'm just going to go through and see if I have this correct. Just off the top of my head. Let me see here. Here we go. Let me just. I'm just pulling up the list here for the DGA winners here in the last few years. Winners and nominees, I should say. So yeah, we're gonna get the list here tomorrow. But let's see. Of the nominees last year, Villeneuve was left off the list for directing. And also, wasn't Kenneth Branagh also off, or did he get in for directing? Jeez, I can't even remember right now. I thought he got in for directing. Yeah, he did. He got in for directing Belfast. Okay. For half a second, I was like, oh boy. Yeah, so Denis Villeneuve in last year. 2 years before that, Aaron Sorkin missed for DGA, or for the Oscars, I mean. Taika Waititi missed in 2019. Bradley Cooper, Peter Farrelly missed for 2018. Back to 2017, Martin McDonagh missed. The other four were in 2016. Garth Davis missed, and I believe that's it. 2015, Ridley Scott missed. And in 2014, Clint Eastwood missed. And I believe that was it. 2013, Paul Greengrass did not get in. And I believe that was it. Ben Affleck did not get in 2012. Neither did Catherine Bigelow. Neither did Tom Hooper. That was not a great year. The director category was weird that year. In 2011, David Fincher did not get in for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. 2010, Christopher Nolan did not get in for Inception. Otherwise, I believe the other four were there: Aronofsky, Fincher, Hooper, and David Russell. 2009, I think, is the last one. I keep saying 2008. 2009, I believe, is the last one, if I'm remembering correctly. Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron, Lee Daniels, Jason Reitman, Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, that's the five. So 2009 is the last time, not 2008. I was this close. So which of those five is going to drop off from DGA and not make it at the Oscars? Boy, Lerman has not really missed anywhere yet, has he? No. I can see, because if I remember right, he did pretty well the year of Moulin Rouge in several categories, but he couldn't quite crack it for Best Director. I can see that happening again with him. I can see possibly James Cameron getting in tomorrow over Lerman or over McDonagh, or possibly over Todd Field, and then missing at the Oscars. But yeah, I'm not even... Sarah Polley, I just don't... She could be one that gets in at the Oscars but misses the DGA. I just don't sense a lot of excitement around that film right now, and around her directorially either. Even though she is longlisted at BAFTA, and I have her in just because I have 3 female and 3 male directors right now. Which I did find out after Sun... this one, Women Talking, and then what's my third one? I'm going to go back. Who is my third one? I think I put in the Woman King director, Bythewood, I think, for now. PGA we'll get to, but we'll probably save that for later on tomorrow. Otherwise, real quick, to just give a preview of SAG. Again, I think tomorrow we're expecting Banshees and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Both of them in that 5 to 6 nomination 5 to 6 nominations perspective, I think. Banshees, I think, actually probably does top out at 5, though. I don't see it getting to... I don't know how it gets to 6, because it's not going to get the stunt ensemble nomination. Extremely unlikely, I would say. Colin Farrell, I think, is in. The ensemble's in. Both the supporting actors, I think, get in. And then Kerry Condon gets in. As for Everything Everywhere All at Once, that can get in easily. The ensemble, actress, supporting actor. Could get 2 supporting actresses, and then stunt ensemble. Right now I have it only getting the 5, because I have Stephanie Sue missing for supporting actress. But if she gets in... and Jamie Lee gets in, then you have if it gets everything, there you go. Then it gets the most nominations ever in SAG history in a single year. So there you go. Fabelmans, I have getting 3 nominations. Woman King, I have getting 3 nominations. Otherwise, I think The Whale has a chance of getting to 2. I think it can get possibly Hong Chow in there, so that could get 2 nominations. Yeah, I don't see what else is going to get, if Women Talking overperforms, that could get to 2 or possibly 3, but right now I'm just not sensing a big wave for that film, so this could be a starting point, this could be a turning point for them, and they could really get some traction going here. But SAG and DGA are going to be 2 big, really big tests tomorrow for that film. And also it's going to be a big turning point possibly for something like Top Gun, getting into DGA. Again, I wouldn't expect it to get much at SAG. I don't even have it on the list for stunt ensemble, and that's just more just because I just, with the stuff that goes on in the movie and knowing that it's really the actors and stuff, it feels like an obvious pick, but like 1917 didn't make it, didn't get anything from SAG. So I have Top Gun Maverick kind of suffering the same fate there. Otherwise, Black Panther, I have Angela Bassett in finally, so I believe I made that change. I might have made that change off camera, so I guess I can really quick run down the list here just so you guys have a full thing on here. For film ensemble, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once, and this is not alphabetical order, this is just in the order I have them in. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fabelmans, Banshees, Glass Onion, Woman King. Actor is Brendan Fraser, Colin Farrell, Austin Butler, Bill Nighy, and Hugh Jackman, but even that pick is really dangling right now. Actresses Cate Blanchett, Michelle Yeoh, Viola Davis, Michelle Williams, and Danielle Deadwyler. Supporting actors Q Kwan, Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, Judd Hirsch, who again is barely hanging on right now. I'm still sticking with Jeremy Strong. I just feel like there's going to be that left turn somewhere at SAG tomorrow, and that's my one pick for that. Supporting actress Jessie Buckley, Carrie Condon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Angela Bassett, Carey Mulligan. And then for ensemble, stunt ensemble, it's The Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and my fifth one is The Woman King. So there you go. That should be everything tomorrow. That's my list at least. So we'll see how it goes. All right. And then, yeah, we'll get to some PGA stuff here. Final predictions on that we will get tomorrow after everything is wrapped up with DGA. I will be live tomorrow, as live as I can be, because I do have Instagram. Supposedly Instagram Live is going to have the nominations for SAG. So we will, I'll try my best to do that. If not, I'll have it up on the screen here. If not, I will have my handy-dandy iPhone ready to go here. And we'll have that. Hopefully it'll not, interfere with it too bad or anything. Not that I don't think it'll have a problem with that, but we'll see. All right, so that's all I have for you tonight, and we'll move on to stuff tomorrow. Bright and not way too early for SAG.